Hey, YouTubers. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. I promise you I'm going to try to keep this video short. I know that many of us have lots of important things that we need to get done. But the purpose of this video today is to share with you a dream that the Lord gave me about 10 years ago concerning the rapture. Now, it wasn't a rapture dream that was like, hey, it's coming really soon. This was more of a warning. And at the time, I really thought it was just for me. But as time has gone on and I've talked with more and more people about the rapture and seen some very odd responses, I've come to realize that the Lord gave me this dream to share. And so I'd like to share it with you. And then also, I want to share some scriptures and some other, maybe just some other knowledge and experience of mine that may hopefully help people to understand. So let me just get to it. So in this dream, I was in my house and it began in my bedroom. And I had this sense, although I couldn't see who was with me, I knew there was another person with me. This person was behind me, so I couldn't see this person's face. But this person said to me, "Get ready. We have to go now." And so I thought, well, I've got to find my son. So I left my bedroom, and this person was walking with me, but behind me. And I began to go from room to room of my house searching for my son. But as I was in a room, I would see, oh, here's a blanket that needs to be folded. So I'd pick it up and fold it. I'd go to the next room and, oh, and here's some shoes that are out of place. So I'd pick them up and take them back to the room where they were supposed to go. Um, and then there would be some dirty dishes in another room that I would take to the kitchen. And all the while I'm looking out windows and looking for my son and not finding him, but continuing on with these sort of daily activities, tidying up my house. And then suddenly, while I was in the middle of doing all of this minutia, a voice said to me, using my name, "Stop." And I was kind of startled. So I turned around. This is the first time I actually sought to find out who that was with me in my dream. I turned around and it was Jesus. And he said to me with so much love, he said, "If you do this, when I come to rapture you, you will be left behind." And then I woke up. And I was so startled and unnerved by this because this idea really went against the way I had been taught in churches from the time I was just a little girl. I knew the Lord when I was just a little girl and have walked with him my whole life. And the thought that any person who was saved could be left behind was really puzzling to me. So I began to search the scriptures, and the Lord led me to Matthew chapters 24 and 25. And I know that these are very common chapters. All of us that are out there longing for the rapture probably have read these over and over again. But I do want to point our attention today to the parable of the 10 virgins. It's important to understand that they were all virgins. This is because they were Christians, right? They were members of the church. And they all went at first with their lamps full of oil. And they were waiting on their Savior. They were waiting for their groom. And 5 of them, as you know, well, first they all fell asleep. And I feel that the church, in a way, has been asleep for a while. We've been waiting on the Lord, and I think we've grown weary and tired and sleepy. But there came a point where there was a call, and they awoke. And this is where many of us are today. We're awake now. And some of them looked and saw that their lamps were without oil. And others had an extra oil that they brought with them. And they filled their lamps and lit them, and they were prepared and ready. And the 5 that had no oil, they had to go back to town to get oil in order to fill their lamps and light them. And while they were gone, they missed their opportunity to go into the wedding feast. And what this tells me is that there are going to be people who are Christians, who know the Lord, but they haven't really been faithful. They've kind of gotten lost in the minutia of life. They're kind of doing their thing, picking up shoes in this room, taking them to that room, folding blankets here, taking dirty dishes there. They're just kind of not really walking with the Lord. Maybe they don't read their Bibles. Maybe they don't pray. They might even go to church, but they just, maybe spend most of the time in church, looking at their phones. I mean, who knows, but they just really aren't plugged in to what Jesus really has for them to be doing. Some of them might even be in some kind of ministry, but they're just walking along, just paying attention to the minutia of whatever life it is that they're leading. Not really aware of who that person is that's behind them. Aware that there's a person there, but not really knowing who that person is. Not really knowing that person. And if you are in this condition, if this is how your walk with Jesus is, then he, in his love and great understanding, wants to tell you to stop. Make yourself ready. All of my life, I've been told that Jesus was coming back, but I never really thought that I would see it. I mean, okay, yeah, he's coming back. We all know that. But if you think about it, there's going to be a generation that is going to be alive when Jesus comes back. There's going to be a generation alive. And I really believe, as do many people out there on YouTube, that we are that generation. We are the ones that are going to see the rapture. And I don't want any of my friends, I don't want any of you to be left behind. And so now is the time for you to examine your life. I've heard people say, well, if Jesus isn't going to rapture my pets, then I don't want to go. And I know that sounds kind of crazy maybe to some of us, but I understand. I have pets too. I have a farm. I have animals that depend on me. I have responsibilities. And I, of course, don't want them to be left. But I also don't want to be left. I want to be with Jesus. And the Lord has reassured me of the fact that he can be trusted. He can be trusted. He loves us, and he loves our animals as well. Even Proverbs says that a just man cares for the well-being of his animals. And I'm paraphrasing that. So we can understand that if we, being corrupt and sinful, can love our animals, can take our responsibilities seriously, then how much more then can Jesus? So we have to come to the place in our lives where we trust him implicitly. We are not going to worry about anything. We're not going to worry about our animals, our loved ones, our friends, our jobs, anything, because we're going to be ready to go. We're going to be ready. So, friends on YouTube, I just want to encourage you today to think about, well, is there anything in my life that would cause me to look back? That would cause me to think, oh, wait, not yet. when you hear that trumpet, when you hear that call, and if there is, deal with it now. Bring yourself to a place where you say, Jesus, I trust you. I know that you are a loving and wonderful God. And whatever is left behind, Lord, is left into your care, into your hands. Just place it all into his hands right now. I just put my family, my friends, my job, my responsibilities, my pets, my farm animals. I put everything, my children, into your hands right now, Jesus, so that I can be ready, so that nothing will cause me to look and think, but wait, what about when Jesus calls? We're going to say, yes, Lord, I'm ready to go. Take me. I want to be with you. I'm longing to be with you. There's nothing that I want more than you. I hope this has encouraged you. I hope that if there are any of you out there that think, I don't know. I just don't know if I never thought Jesus was going to come this soon. Well, he is coming. He's coming very soon. Most of the prophecies that concern the last days have been fulfilled. And there really is nothing that's preventing him from coming for us, from calling us home, calling us to be with him. So think on that, dwell on that. What is it going to be like to be with Jesus? It's going to be marvelous. Read those scriptures in the Bible that talk about heaven, that talk about the beauty of it, the light of it, sort of the spectacular ideas that will be the millennial reign of Christ. Kind of dwell on those things. Start thinking about those things. If you have a good relationship with your pastor, ask your pastor to do a sermon on that. Or go online and look up some YouTube videos where people are talking about these things so that you can begin to feel that excitement, that love that a groom would have just before he's getting ready to marry his bride, that a bride would have just before she's getting ready to walk down that aisle. Think of that excitement. Would there be anything that would want to stop you from walking down that aisle on that special day? I can't imagine anything that would. Not for me. And I want it to be the same way for you. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my fledgling channel. And until we see each other again, God bless you and have a blessed day.